Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to give you a little rundown of my project. It's a spring pond which holds trout, and the excavation began about 6 months ago in July. So here we go. This is the pond here. It started off as a small spring, which right now is located about right here, 52 inches deep, where the spring comes out of the ground. It's a slightly acidic mountain spring, so I added some 1B limestone gravel into the spring to help raise the pH, buffer against any sudden changes, add calcium to the water, which helps with aquatic weed vegetation and certain crustaceans such as scuds, sow bugs, which use calcium to form their shell. But we started off in July. We had an excavator come and we dug the pond. Before it was basically just a puddle, and I thought it had a lot of more potential, so after the excavation we left a bank of clay and we added these cement blocks in and cemented around the whole brim of the front of the pond. The back isn't cemented at all. It's mostly clay, which is fairly watertight. And at first the pond leaked a lot because we didn't have the cementing on the sides. We just had the front blocks. And we actually added another layer because the water was perfectly even, and if there was a little splash it would overflow on this low side. So we added an extra layer, 4-inch blocks on the sides. And even now the bank, well, the front of the dam has cracked and water seeps through it. It's very swampy around this area here. So this summer we plan to re-cement this to make it more watertight. It flows through very slowly. I'm not even sure how, but that's water's job to erode. And after the initial cementing, we kind of let the pond establish itself. As you can see, algae took off fairly good. We have a very thick layer of algae. I'm not sure why it's so thick, but then we also have some aquatic vegetation here. This is a watercress type plant. I'm not actually sure what the exact name is. It's not watercress, but it's closely related. And we have these caged off because this is where the minnows like to hide. It's good cover. And the trout will go in here and thrash, knock up all the weeds, then they just float around. They clog up the overflow pipe, which actually goes into this pond over here. You can see the spring puts out about 5 gallons a minute of water, which is a decent size for a trout's intents and purpose and for the surface area of this pond. And speaking of that, on the surface we have, let's see, 46 degrees. That's on the very surface though. The air temperature right now is 44, which kind of correlates a little bit, but on the bottom right now the temperature is about 52 degrees where the spring arises. This pond's approximately 2,000 gallons, a little bit more possibly. I just calculated it with the basic formula I found. And I have 7 trout currently in here. I have 3 rainbow trout, 3 brown trout, and 1 brook trout. It's perfect, and like I said, this summer I plan to re-cement the dam. In the back I plan to make a waterfall and get a larger pump than the one I have now. I'm actually going to put the tubing underground to keep it insulated, and it's going to run to the back and bubble up through a pile of limestone gravel and then tumble down a cemented waterfall into the pond to help oxygenate it a lot better. We have some Elodea pots, Elodea canadensis, growing submerged. It took off very well in this pond. And in the back I have a submerged cedar tree for cover. And on the bottom I have a cement block with a flat rock, which makes really good cover because the trout can escape in many different directions. And over here we have, like I said before, my warm water pond, which has bass, perch, crappie, bluegill. Used to have walleye. We tried catfish, that didn't work. It gets a little bit too warm for trout, so that's the reason I made this. The pH is about 6.2, but I figure if I add more limestone and after I build a waterfall in the back with limestone, the pH will be raised somewhere around 7, a little bit more than 7 possibly. And that's about all I have for today. I don't want to make this too long, but like I said, subscribe, comment on my videos. I have 3 currently. This is my 4th. I'd like to see some support, because I'm going to have several projects coming up, such as I'm going to make a slideshow of the creation of this trout pond with pictures. I currently got this new camera which I'm recording with. It's an underwater camera. I've been taking some underwater pictures and videos of the trout pond, and I'm going to make a slideshow out of that. So look out for my new stuff, and tight lines to everyone.